these
are
the
the
breaks.
breaks.
These are the breaks.
You know what it is.
Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year, I have to say. It is Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. We have made it to a new year. What a beautiful time. You guys know what it is. I am Mykell Mathieu, your host, and these are the breaks. And I welcome you guys here today. But we're going to have to start with some very, very scary news. You know, scary incident happened and occurred last night during the Monday Night Football game there between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. And such a critical game, such a big game. But at the end of the day, none of it mattered. We had safety Damar Hamlin, who suffered a cardiac arrest on the field after a routine tackle, and the game was suspended. It happened in the first quarter at the very beginning of the game. So scary. I was very numb from it. I didn't know how to feel about it, but I'm going to speak about more on my feelings and my take on it all and what was occurring on Instagram, Twitter later on. But I have to get to what the Buffalo Bills Twitter account has told us, and it says Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in our game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He is currently sedated and listed in critical condition. So prayers were going up all through the night for Damar and his family and for his teammates because it was an incident that we never seen before. So we didn't really know how to, handle this situation. Shout out and much love and respect to those at ESPN who did such a great job of handling this situation. But we all know how big the game was. That's why everyone was so excited for this Monday night game. The Bills, who are currently the AFC East champions, who came in tied with the best record with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they hold the tiebreaker so that we know that if they win and win out, they are the number one seed. Then you have the Bengals, who were at home looking to get another big win after defeating the Chiefs earlier in the season to tie the record with the Bills, to jump them in the standings, and to give them a chance to have the best record in the AFC. But it all didn't matter at the end there. So we're trying to figure out what's next for the NFL. How is the NFL going to make up this game? What are they going to do? Are they going to call it just a tie? Like, we have never seen anything occur or happen like this. How could the players bounce back? For those Buffalo Bills players to see their teammates' heart stop, like they said they had to restore his heart, his breathing. Like, how are they going to bounce back? It's so much that we're going to have to figure out, but it's the NFL. We know that things have to move forward. This is the biggest sports league in America. So much money is tied into this league. So I don't know what they're going to do. It's a crazy situation. It has me thinking back to me being a young kid and watching a WWE pay-per-view and watching Owen Hart die on the pay-per-view, and the show went on. So I just don't know what the NFL is going to do. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen. But shout out to the fans. I know that we have a lot of bickering and going back and forth between teams fans. Me being a Chiefs fan, you see everyone going at it with the Chiefs fans, Bengals, Bills, because of the rivalry. But we all showed that we were all humans last night. And if you haven't, you still have a chance to be able to donate, like a bunch of fans across the country and the world who donated to Damar Hamlin's charity, raising over $3 million in one night. The total donation stood at roughly $74,000 before the incident took place. And it just showed when everyone comes together, there's still love in this world. There's still peace. We're all human beings and we respect that. So shout out to everyone who did a great job with that. And, our prayers are still with Damar and his family. And I'm going to speak on it a little more later, but we have to take you to a break because, I have to talk some sports, man. I have to talk some basketball, but our prayers are still out for Damar. Man, keep fighting, man.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of
Back, everybody. These are the breaks with the one and only Mykell Mathieu here on this Tuesday, January 3rd. Started off real heavy, but I have to go into some sports news here. I know it's a tough day for everyone, all sports fans, journalists, and all, but our jobs have to continue. So we have to talk to NBA. It sucks that this man put on a performance for the ages, and what happened with the Buffalo Bills game kind of took away from this guy. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell, gave us a performance that was insane. The man scored 71 points, had 11 assists and 8 rebounds in a win in an overtime game against the Chicago Bulls, 145-134. The guy put on a performance. He did it all. The team had no Evan Mobley, had no Darius Garland. So they needed him to step up, and boy, did he step up. He scored the most points in the game since 2006 when the late, great Kobe Bryant scored 81. Mitchell is the 7th player in NBA history to score 70-plus points in a game and the first ever to do it with 10 assists. Like, what a performance. The guy did everything, like getting the buckets the way he did, making a lot of clutch buckets, but still being able to find people to knock down shots. The man nearly accounted for almost 100 points, which is crazy to think about. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I was like, there's no way that this happened. This guy is putting up 2K numbers, and he did his job to help his team get a win. The Cleveland Cavaliers, I talked about it in earlier episodes of the These Are the Breaks, that they're surprising everybody, and he is a key catalyst of this. I know he talked about him feeling better, feeling more comfortable being in Cleveland, being around more people that he can relate to, and it's clearly showing to what he's doing on the court. To score these 71 points with these 11 assists and the 8 rebounds, don't forget about the 8 rebounds, a near triple-double. It was an all-time performance that we're going to have to remember about for a long, long time. But then also that night, yesterday night, you had another guy who we're used to putting up legendary performances, do his thing for our Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James continues to put up huge numbers. In year number 20, I don't know what it is. Is this guy Superman? Does he not age? Like, he comes out and he does these amazing things at 38 years old. Like, this guy is an old man, and that body is probably like 50 on a basketball court, and he continues to put up these great, great performances, doing whatever he has to do to help the Lakers win. And I know the Lakers record isn't too great, and we all expect them to do more when you have LeBron James, when you have an Anthony Davis, a Russell Westbrook on the team. But Anthony Davis has been hurt. So we have to make sure that we remember that, and that LeBron James is putting on a performance that we'll probably never see again. Like, we will probably never see an athlete in their 20th year still be considered a top 5, top 10 player of their league, playing against all these young guys, man. I think that we take LeBron James for granted. And I know I'm a Kobe guy, I'm a Jordan guy, but we cannot disrespect how great this guy is, how long he has been doing it. Like, it's special. So I think that we have to make sure that we look at LeBron James, that we give him his flowers, because He's showing no signs of slowing down, and he's about to do something that no one thought would happen. Even with his great start in his career, that this guy is going to catch Kareem. Like, he is going to be the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Like, this is insane, like, this is insane. I thought we would never see it just because of the talent that you have in the league, the athletes, how tough the game of basketball is, and to keep your body rolling and stay healthy the way that LeBron James is doing it. Man, I have to bow down to the king because he is doing some amazing things. Of course, we won championships in LA, but we have to look at this guy as an individual and say, damn it, he is the one. He is the king. He may not be the greatest of all time, but he is the greatest of his era, and he is a guy that we have to make sure that we put respect on his name because he is doing some very, very king-like things. To take it to the Warriors, we got to take it to the Bay Area. Klay Thompson, who everybody said it's a wrap, this guy is done, including myself. He's starting to prove me wrong, man, with a performance like he did last night. 54 points in their double overtime win, which gives the Warriors 5 straight victories, even without Steph Curry. After them losing by 30 versus the Nets, we were like, oh, man, this team is done. They're washed, just like Klay is, but they're proving us wrong, putting together these wins. 13 players have scored 50-plus points this NBA season, putting it on pace to break the 1992 1962-63 record when Elgin Baylor and Wilt Chamberlain were doing their thing, where Wilt had 50 plus 30 plus 50-point games, and Elgin Baylor had 4. Klay Thompson, he did his thing, and I'm just watching him play. He's not having no spectacular moves, no great crossover dribbles, step backs. He's just catching that ball and letting that thing go, and he is knocking these shots down. It looks like he's getting a groove together. He missed so much basketball, but it looks like he's finally finding it. You had Jordan Poole, who gave him 28 and 5 to help them get this victory. But it was probably the game of the year so far for this NBA season. Trae Young chipped in 30 points and 14 assists. It was a big-time game for all you guys who have NBA TV. I'm pretty sure they're going to show this game over and over again. And you're going to watch Klay Thompson get some great buckets. So shout out to Klay. You are shutting me up. I apologize if I said that you are washed. I was wrong. But you got to keep proving me wrong because, we expect the Warriors to be right back there in the title picture. And it's looking like it, especially when they get that guy Steph Curry back. So to keep it on the West Coast, I have to talk about this guy who shows you some Jordan-like ability, but he has to stay out of trouble. Grizzly superstar Ja Morant is being sued as he is accused of punching a 17-year-old during a pickup game. This is crazy. First of all, Ja Morant, come on, man. You should not be playing no pickup basketball with no regular basketball players, a 17-year-old kid. You need to be playing in the Chris Brinkley runs, Chris Johnson runs, where there's other NBA players. You shouldn't even be in this situation at all. Morant you're having a great season. At 23 years old, you have accomplished so much. He already has the Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player award on his resume. He was named second team All-NBA last season. He's playing like an MVP. The Grizzlies are a team that everybody is talking about. Think about that, world. We're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, a team there in Tennessee, because of this guy and the basketball that he's putting together, the highlights, the great time performances that he is putting together. They're the second best team right now in the Western Conference when it comes to the records. But you got to stay out of trouble, Mr. Morant. They want to pull you down. So just worry about balling. Hopefully you can figure that situation out. Give that guy tickets, merch, everything you need to, and stay out of playing in these local pickup games. You're better than that, Ja. Shouldn't be punching fans. But we got to give shout outs and props to this guy, Luka, who is doing his thing. He won Player of the Week. He keeps dominating in a very impressive fashion, scoring 29 of his 39 points in the second half of their comeback win versus the Rockets. The guy is amazing, and he said it years ago. It is much easier to play in the NBA compared to playing in the EuroLeague, and he's showing that because he is making everybody look like scrubs. He may be the greatest 23-year-old basketball player that we ever seen touch the floor, just with the skill set, his brain on the basketball court, the way he uses his body. He can do everything against these athletes who are more explosive, who jump higher, faster, these long athletes. He comes out and he dominates. I'm hoping the Mavericks can put together a team, put some players with him that can, lead to him winning the championship, because he deserves to do so. Shout out to Luka. Very impressive performance he's doing. Hey, I know everybody's saying Jason Tatum. He is my MVP, and I guarantee, like Chuck says, that at the end of the season, Luka Doncic will be the NBA MVP. Keep doing your thing, Luka. And before we go to this break, I have to talk about the Nets, because we had to talk about them. We all wanted to talk about Kyrie and what was going on. Should he be traded? This team is balling. That is 12 straight victories. It seems like they have a groove. And if you watched last night's game, Kyrie got the tip, jam, dunk. I didn't even know he could dunk still, but I guess when you're 6'3", you should be able to do it. But they're playing some great ball. They're looking like some true contenders. Within that streak, they got to win over the Bucks. They got to win over the 76ers. They look like a team that's going to have to be reckoned with. Kevin Durant is playing some MVP basketball. It's just the whole team is doing their thing. I do think they need a big. If they can add a quality big to that roster, I think it can put them over the top. But everybody should be aware. Brooklyn, stand up, and they're doing exactly that. Hey, I'm looking out for the Nets, so I'm hoping that they can make a run, but we're still early in this NBA season, so we're going to see what happens, but I have to take you guys to a break. I got to talk some college football, and I'm so excited about it. Damn it, SC, you let LA down, but I'm going to talk about it after this break, baby.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Welcome back, baby. These are the breaks. You know who it is, the one and only Mykell Mathieu himself, here for you on this Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. We made it, everybody. Stay safe out there. But, it's bowl season for college football. It's coming to the near the end of their season, but there's been some really great games that's going throughout. But we're going to have to take you to Pasadena first, the Rose Bowl, where Penn State took care of business and got the win over the Utah Utes, the Pac-12 champions, to win this Rose Bowl. Poor Utah, man. Another Rose Bowl L. Once again, quarterback Cam Rising gets injured during the game, and it starts off at halftime 14-14. Then it gets ugly until they can add a touchdown late. I just have to give a shout-out to the Rose Bowl, being able to cover it this year. It was a really, really dope experience. All the way to Disneyland, having a lot of fun there. The players being able to enjoy that, being able to interview the players there. And then the Beef Bowl there at Laurie's there in Beverly Hills, where they were feeding the players, feeding the media. It was just a great all-around experience. I was hoping for another great game like last year's Ohio State-Utah game. But Penn State, you got to give Coach Franklin and that team some credit. They came out, they took care of business. And I'm sorry, I'm going to apologize for you, Coach Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions, that LA was acting up yesterday. They didn't give you the sunny weather that you probably expected, to come play here at the Rose Bowl. But you took care of business and you smelled the roses. Good job. Shout out to Penn State. Great win. But I have to talk about our LA team because UCLA took a L to Pittsburgh, and no one expected USC to take a loss to Tulane. Cotton Bowl, Heisman winner Caleb Williams even gave you a 5-touchdown performance, but they did lose. Great comeback by Tulane, getting the victory 46-45. And I'm going to say it right now, fight on, but we need to make sure that we pressure Lincoln Riley because they need a new defensive coordinator. Like, this was a team that was a championship team. You had a championship offense, you had a playoff offense, but you had a defense that was probably low tier in the Pac-12, and you have to try to win as long as you have Caleb. This guy is going to potentially be the first pick in the NFL next year. You have all these weapons on the outside like Brandon Rice. You have some solid running backs, and you can't beat Tulane? This is ridiculous, Coach Lincoln Riley. So I hope that you figured out defensively, which means you need a new defensive coordinator. I know you had another great class and you got some players, but you have to figure this thing out because if you don't win with Caleb Williams, it is going to be a shame. And you're now in LA. This is no longer Oklahoma. This is Los Angeles, California, and we only respect winners. Ask the Clippers. It's not about getting close. It's about winning, damn it. And you have to win with Caleb Williams. So shout out to Tulane taking care of business because no one expected that. I really didn't expect it. I turned the game off once USC jumped out to the big league because I knew they were going to take care of business and couldn't believe that they didn't win that game. So USC, fix it because we expect a champion next year here in Southern Cal. And shout out to LSU who took care of business. Man, they did their thing there in the Citrus Bowl or the Cheez-Its Bowl. Big time performance, scoring 63 points. I know it's against Purdue, but whenever you can score 63 points, what a great performance there. Brian Kelly's first year with LSU. Let's see what's going to happen. You know, we saw Alabama. They took care of business in their bowl game. Bryce Young playing his final college football game. But, hey, the SEC is going to be excited once again next year. You have Georgia, who's looking to become back-to-back champions with their game against TCU, who pulled off the big-time upset. But I'm very excited to see what the SEC is going to bring us next year. But, damn it, I'm also excited for this national championship game. Georgia, TCU, we're going to get it next week, and I can't wait to talk about it for you. Man, College football season was great this year. So many great games, so many great performances. Shout out to the Trojans and Bruins for allowing me to be in the building to cover these great teams. But we're looking for more for you next year. So that's your college football season. It's coming to a close soon. But I have to talk to you guys about this very serious ordeal that occurred yesterday. And with us all being big sports fans, and lovers of these games, basketball, baseball, football, hockey here in America. This situation with Damar Hamlin showed us yesterday that we have to respect these players. We have to realize that these guys are human beings. Like, that situation yesterday shocked everyone. I had a tough time sleeping. I was numb to the situation. To a guy who myself has seen a lot in my lifetime, seeing guys a guy shot in the neck before, seeing someone shot and killed in front of me. To see that situation occur last night in front of America, in front of the world, it was crazy. I just didn't know how to react. And I know that we go back and forth as fans, like I said earlier in the show, on Twitter. You have all these feuds that goes on, and some of it is really ridiculous. But it occurs. I hope that we can learn from this situation that these guys aren't warriors out there fighting a war, or these guys aren't gladiators out there fighting to the death. These guys are human beings, and we have to respect that. And, we see what happened with Skip Bayless and people thinking about the game and the backlash that he has received and so forth. I think sometimes you just have to know when to shut up as a sports journalist and to take a step back and just allow yourself to be in this moment because, man, it's unexplainable for people to come out and still want to talk about the game during the night of, I understand it's the NFL. I understand somehow, some way the season is going to have to go on, but we have to live in the moment and understand what happened with this guy. Like the guy, honestly, he died on the field and had to be brought back to life. And it's a situation that we have to show respect to others. And that's why you get backlash the way that Skip Bayless received this. But sometimes, we just get lost into it all with sports because betting is such a big thing nowadays in sports. Fantasy sports is such a big thing that we totally miss the big picture that these people are human beings. And, with me being here in LA, I've lived it all. We saw the late great Kobe Bryant. We saw Kobe Bryant, who was a childhood hero of a lot of us, lose his life in a helicopter crash. And you have to understand that these guys are humans, man. And it's just a very, very, very crazy situation to see that occur. It really shook me up just after losing my father last year of him going into the hospital and dealing with everything. So hearing a person being sedated and having a tube placed down his throat just brought back so much for me. I had to talk to family members and just, we become numb to a lot of these situations just living in the times that we live in with social media, where you see you can go and find videos easily of people losing their lives and understand and seeing things like that and just becoming so numb to it. But yesterday really shook us up, guys. And I think that we have to show more love to one another. We have to show more respect to one another. So, I remember I had my notepad and I just wrote down on it, take nothing for granted, because you never know when this is it for you. So we need to show more love to our people out there. Call others and tell them that you love them, your family, your friends. And, we're coming over into this new year. And I know a lot of people are still carrying beefs, whether it's with family, whether it's with friends and things like that. But we don't have time for it. Damar was out there playing the game that he loved, making a routine tackle. And we don't know what's going to happen with him. He could possibly lose his life doing something that he loved. And I know that he didn't wake up with that even being near a thought on his mind. The guy, if you go and look up his profile on Instagram and Twitter, he was all about helping others, all about giving back. And I think that's what we should do with this year, is come in it with so much love that we want to spread, knowing that we want to help others and give back, because this situation is just a wake-up call that A, these players are human beings, and that B, we need to show love and be, respectful to all situations. But hey, I'm going to continue to pray for him. I'm going to continue to pray for this world that we can have more love and peace. I thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of These Are the Breaks. I can't wait to check you guys out next Tuesday. I can't wait for you guys to check me out. I'm going to have more greatness to bring you. Peace and love to everybody. A prayer for all those Bills players and Damar Hamlin. Check you guys out next week.